Good job. Oh, he missed. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am Shelby and today I have a massive book haul. These books have been accumulated probably over the past month. I went to 2 days of the Half Price Books clearance sale with Whitney, as well as visited the flagship store, and Whitney and I have gone to like some super clearance resale shops. So I have a lot of books. They've like taken over my room, and so I'm like, it's time for me to film this video because I need to get them onto my shelves and like out of here. And I need to get them all added to Storygraph and Goodreads. So that's what I'm going to do today. Because of how many there are, there's not going to be any particular rhyme or reason. I'm just going to kind of grab and go from there. And also a lot of these I probably don't know the synopses for because they were bought at the clearance sale, and sometimes when everything is like $2 or less, you just kind of grab something that looks like something you recognize. So that's what a lot of these are. So if I can't give you a synopsis, I'll try and explain my reasoning for buying them. Theo's jumping down. Okay, I thought he was gonna make more noise. I think you're gonna make more noise. Okay, goodbye. He might go into his tree. There we go. So now that we're all situated, let's get started. To start us off, I have 3 books in the Truly Devious series: The Vanishing Stair, The Hand on the Wall, and The Box in the Woods. These are the second, third, and fourth books of the Truly Devious series. I read Truly Devious in October. It was my favorite book of October. It follows this girl named Stevie who has a love for true crime, and she goes to this school where they kind of say like, if you think you have any special talents or something, contact us to join our school. And they don't really tell you how or what to do, and this school is full of like all of these students who are very good at their special craft or interest or something like that, and Stevie's has to be true crime. And what happened was, at the Ellingham Academy a few years back, the founder, his like wife and daughter, and I think a student, died, and it was kind of never really solved. Someone was convicted for it, but they didn't speak much English, and Stevie thinks they were wrongfully convicted, so Stevie is trying to figure out who really killed these people at the Ellingham Academy all those years before. So that's her big project for the year. And then some weird stuff starts happening, and I really loved Truly Devious. I gave it 4.5 stars. The setting was impeccable, and I loved it, so I only thought it right to continue on with the rest of them. The only gripe I had about Truly Devious was that it tried to do a lot in like the last 25 to 50 pages, and so I'm hoping that now that it's been fleshed out into a series and that there's another one coming out later this month, I want to say, it'll remedy some of that. So those are the first 3 books. Then I have 2 Samira Ahmed books, Love, Hate, and Other Filters, and Internment. Honestly, these were on clearance for a couple bucks, and I don't really know what they're about, but I borrowed them from the library a while ago, and they both looked really good. I think both of these books deal with Islamophobia or being Muslim in America in some way, shape, or form, but I'm not certain on that. I honestly just picked these up because I recognized them and they were cheap, and I thought I'd give them a shot. YA contemporaries have become a little bit less of my genre as I've gotten older, which is like fair and acceptable. And I think that's mostly like contemporary romances in the YA genre because I've started reading adult contemporary romances. But I'm still gonna give these a shot because I think they're gonna deal with like more hard-hitting topics rather than just a cutesy little YA romance. We'll see, but those are my next 2. I'm gonna shut that closet door because it's bothering me, so I'm sorry if it's been bothering you too. Then I have Small Favors by Erin A. Craig. Honestly, again, don't know what this is about. I know Chanel, my good friend Chanel, loved this, and the end pages are really pretty, so I picked it up. I have no idea what it's about. It's probably like fantasy or something, maybe a thriller. Pretty, so I picked it up. If you thought I was joking when I said I really don't know what a lot of these are about, I hope I've shown you that I really have no clue. Punching the Air by Evie Zaboy and Youssef Salam. Oh, it's gonna be like about art. He goes to like this art school, and then experiences some like racial prejudice because he's black. This was another one that was on clearance. This actually came out when I first started my job at Barnes & Noble over a year ago. I was really interested in the arc, but then somebody picked it up, so I didn't get to read it. But I'm excited to read it now. Then as you can see, this was on clearance for $2. Pride by Evie Zaboy. It's a Pride and Prejudice remix. Afro-Latino Pride and Prejudice retelling. Why is that hard for me to say? My Plain Jane. This is apparently the second one. I thought it was the first when I first bought it. Apparently it's the second. I think the first is called My Lady Jane. So I'll have to borrow that from the library or something. But I recognized it and it was like $2. Solo by Kwame Alexander. This is about a guy who loves music, and I think like it's mostly, yeah, it's all written in song. And I think I tried this on audiobook because it like apparently was a really good audiobook, but then you had to listen to it in like 1x speed and I like couldn't get into it. So now that I have this, I'm hoping that I can like follow along with the words on the page and listen to the audiobook because it's all written in verse. So excited to try this out. This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. I think I have another Emma Mills somewhere amidst this stack. I know Kayla loves Emma Mills, and if there's one thing that I'm gonna do is buy a book if Kayla likes it. Let me rephrase. I remember Kayla reading Emma Mills. I do not remember her feelings on it. Excited to give this a try. Permanent Record by Mary H.K. Choi. Again, know nothing. Is this fun for you that I don't know anything? I think this is like a YA contemporary romance or something. I don't know. I'm excited to try it though because it was like $1 or $2, so I can't complain. And like, here's the thing, is with a lot of these, if I don't like it, it's not gonna be something that I like sell or try and like make a profit off of. That's stupid. I'm gonna like give them to friends or little free libraries. So like, even if I don't like it, I hope I give it to someone who does because it was $2. So like, why not share the books? I don't know. That's everything from that stack that I had. Let's do this stack. The Stand-In by Lily Chu. I have been wanting to read this forever. This has been on my Amazon wish list. This is one that I got at the flagship store. It's the cover is illustrated by Lainey Kaufman and Philippa Sue does the audiobook, and that's all I know and that's all I need to know. Thank you. Another one bought at the clearance sale. When Life Gives You Lululemons. And I feel like most people I've heard of reading this either loved it or weren't fans. I don't know. I love Lululemon and I love adult fiction. White Ivy by Susie Yang. Can we guess how much I know about this? If you said nothing, you'd be correct. This was one that I recognized the cover and I went, that's here, and I picked it up. I don't know where I recognize this cover from. Maybe I saw a lot of people get it as their book of the month one month. When was this? Contemporary fiction. It doesn't even have the date of when it was the book of the month. I feel like they still do that. It says 2020. So I don't know. I think this might have been something that like made its rounds during the vid times in like late 2020. I'm excited to try it though. There's a Read with Jenna sticker on it. You think I can get that off? I'm not gonna mess with it right now. Okay. The Host by Stephanie Meyer. I have never read this, and there were a million copies of it at the clearance sale, because what happens at the clearance sale is that there's a lot of older titles that people are no longer interested in. You'll also find like a lot of James Patterson, Janet Ivanovich, John Grisham, like people who've put out a lot of books. So I think this was just the case of like, it's been out forever and they keep getting copies sold to them, but then they don't sell because it's not super popular anymore. But Whitney was there with me, and she was harassing me the entire time to get this. I think this is the first video she ever did on her booktube channel. She kept telling me, you need to get it, you need to get it. Finally I gave in. When I saw a hardcover of it, I thought might as well. She did tell me I should watch the movie first, which like I've never heard someone say that before. I'll give it a shot because Whitney wants me to. Going right along with books that Whitney wants me to read, Marked by PC Cast and Kristen. Here's the thing. This was like popular in like 2013 YA days, maybe even earlier than that. I was not super into books until I really got to college. I read them a lot when I was younger. I read like Diary of a Wimpy Kid, and I read a few things here and there up until like middle school, high school, and then I kind of stopped until college. And then in college, I really got into it because that's when I found BookTube. I missed out on some of like the YA fantasy books that everyone knows and loves, and this is one of them that Whitney wants me to get into. So I think we're gonna buddy read this. Next up, The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. This is a really short thriller or mystery. I'm not sure. I don't see it anywhere on here. I could be lying to you, and it could be staring me right in the face, but The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins. I recognize the name and kind of the cover design based off that yellow and pink one that came out a while ago. But I'm like trying to get into some new mystery, thriller, horror books. I'm trying out that genre and I'm really enjoying my time with it. So I figured I would pick this up because it was a low risk investment and I thought it might be fun to give another author a shot. Then we have the beloved Mexican Gothic, loved by some, disliked by others. This made its rounds on Book Talk and I was initially hesitant because it made its rounds on Book Talk. If I want you to learn anything from this video, it's that I'm hesitant when Book Talk recommends something to me. Kayla read it. Kayla didn't love it though, but I think I have some other friends who have really loved this. Why not try it? Right? Right. Although there was a Target sticker on it, and it's like so sticky. But I digress. Janelle Brown, Pretty Things. A mystery thriller, something. I don't know. Here's the thing. When I bought these, I did pick up and like read the synopses, but I don't know. I don't know anymore. It's been a minute. And this dust jacket is like so like loose around here. It's been well loved, but it's got a cool cover. Do you want to do one where I actually know what happens? 56 Days by Catherine Ryan Howard. This is about a girl who I think it's on a dating app or something, and she meets this guy and then lockdown happens and they end up like staying together, and then she ends up missing or something after the 56 days of lockdown, and he may have done some other sketchy stuff. So this kind of is weird because it entangles real world events that have happened recently, but it sounds really good. I will read this to you since it's short. 56 days ago, Sierra and Oliver meet in a supermarket queue in Dublin and start dating the same week as COVID-19 reaches the Irish shores. 35 days ago, when lockdown threatens to keep them apart, Oliver suggests they move in together. Sierra sees a unique opportunity for a relationship to flourish without the scrutiny of family and friends. Oliver sees a chance to hide who and what he really is. Today, detectives arrive at Oliver's apartment to discover a decomposing body inside. Can they determine what really happened, or has lockdown created an opportunity for someone to commit the perfect crime? It sounds interesting. Ruth Ware's The It Girl. The first mystery thriller that I loved was Ruth Ware's The Turn of the Key. And since then, I've picked up every Ruth Ware that I can find. Have I read any more of them? No. Have I picked up every single one I can find? Yes. I still need to get one by one because it's like a wintry one, but I might borrow that from the library. But this one just came out recently and I was super excited to find it at Half Price Books. It's kind of one of those mystery thrillers where I think it like follows a main character who has some stuff in her past and then like some things resolve and it's finally like, oh thank God it's in the past, and then the past resurfaces. I just am so excited to continue on with Ruth Ware, and I hope I love all of them as much as I loved The Turn of the Key, because I think I gave that 5 stars. We'll get through some of these other ones a little quicker. This is Wilder Girls by Rory Power. This is one that Kayla really liked, and I think I found it for really reasonably priced. And then Girls of Storm and Shadow. I got this on clearance for like $1 or $2. This is by Natasha Nyan, and it's the sequel to Girls of Paper and Fire, which I have not read yet. I do own, and I want to continue on in it, even though I haven't read the first one. I just like having the sequel to a book, and when it's $1 or $2, you can't really pass it up, so I picked this one up as well. The books are stacking up in my windows, and my neighbors are probably like, holy shit, she's crazy. Remember like a few minutes ago when I said I don't trust Book Talk recommendations? I picked this one up because I had seen it on TikTok and everyone loved it, so I guess I'm lying to you. Do I know what it's about? No. Piper Parrish by Kayla Kagan. It's got something to do with like artists, and I think it's a fictional thing about art and artists and people who are creatives or something like that, and as someone with an art degree it sounded interesting. The cover is not something I would typically gravitate towards because it's very like 2013, 2014, but it sounded interesting. To Have and to Hoax by Martha Waters. This one is the first book in a series. It's like Regency romances, but it's not like the mass market Regency romances. And it just looks so cute. All the other covers are adorable. This one, not as big of a fan, but I really wanted to own the first one so I can start reading the others. So that's why I picked this one up. Speaking of Regency mass market things. I guess we can get through some of those that I bought. These were all like 50 cents or $1, so I kind of picked up ones that looked mediocre at best. So let's get into it. I'm just gonna breeze through these because I literally, if you thought I knew nothing about those, I just know these are Regency romances. Stephanie Lawrence, Mastered by Love. I think this is a later book in the series, but whatever. Eloisa James, The Ugly Duchess. I cannot believe I bought these. Eloisa James, My Last Duchess. Amanda Quick, Slightly Shady. Cara Elliott, To Sin with a Scoundrel. And the last one I have is Lindsay Sands' The Switch. I feel like I bought a Lisa Kleypas, but I don't know where that's gone. Tessa Dare, The Duchess Deal, and Lisa Kleypas, Cold Hearted Rake. That's all of my mass markets that I bought. Those are gonna be fun because they're just trash. And you read them knowing they're trash. But I will say that Chandler loves like Lisa Kleypas and some of these like Regency romances, so maybe they're actually like really good and have good substance to them. I still have a big box at my feet and I haven't even touched any of those yet, and I still have a few more to show you before I do, but these will be really quick. If you watched my last reading vlog with Whitney, the Weekend Ween one, we went to the Friends of the Library near us, which is basically like the library's resale secondhand shop. Some of them are library titles, some of them are donated. These are what I picked up there. Since I have talked about these in a vlog, I'm going to get through these kind of quick. Also, I don't know anything about them. Let's just be honest. Leave the World Behind by Rumaan Alam. This is, I think, like a thriller or something where they're all trapped at like an Airbnb resort remote place, and then something weird starts happening. And I feel like Kayla really liked this, and I think a lot of people haven't. So I'm interested to see how aligned Kayla and my tastes are, because I really go to her for a lot of recommendations on things, but I don't know if we have the same taste. She's just one of the few booktubers I know that really heavily talks about like mystery, thriller, horror, that kind of stuff. So that's who I turn to for those kind of recommendations. So it'll be interesting to see how aligned our tastes are. Ruth Ware, Dark Dark Wood. It's a mass market, it was $1.50. Usually I do like hardcovers, as I've mentioned, but this is Ruth Ware, so I was gonna read it. Dial A for Aunties. This is a cozy mystery that Kayla really liked, and I want to try some cozy mysteries. Which reminds me, there's a cozy mystery. It might be in this box. Might be in this box that I'm missing. We'll see. Devil in the White City by Eric Larson. This is a non-fiction thing that's got like murder in Chicago, and it's kind of like mysterious and things. It's like heavy duty. I don't know how long it is. Oh, it's long. Oh no, it's not that long. 400-ish pages. I don't know, I'm excited to try it out. Tana French, In the Woods. Tana French was a very popular author amongst my coworkers when I worked at Barnes & Noble. I saw it there for like $1 or $2, and I thought, why not? And lastly, Wolf Hall by Hilary Mantel. This follows Henry VIII, I think, when he meets Anne Boleyn. I wanted to try some historical fiction pieces, but I've never like been super certain of what I'd be interested in. I think I could be really interested in The Six Wives of Henry VIII, mostly because I saw Six on Broadway recently and it was life-changing. But besides that, I think it's just gonna be good. We have finally reached the box, so let's breeze through these. Tana French, The Trespasser. I will say, I think Tana French writes a lot of like mysteries set in Dublin or something like that, that do with a lot of European or Irish culture. This is a Book of the Month edition from like forever ago, yeah. November of 2016. Can you tell, like based on the cover and the spine? The good old days. This box is all things from the second day of the clearance sale, so I will be 100% honest with you and say these were just vibes. If I saw it and I thought it looked mildly interesting, I picked it up because there's some ruthless people at those clearance sales. Saturday was crazy, and so we decided to just have more free will on Sunday and just kind of pick up stuff that looked decent. This is the result of that. Sherry Lapina, A Stranger in the House. Has an interesting title. Lisa Jackson, Absolute Fear. Lisa Jackson, Running Scared. I think this is like they're being chased by someone. I really don't know. I really don't know. I'm sorry, I wish I did. Here's that cozy mystery I was talking to you about. Joanne Fluke. This is actually, I think, a set of like 3 cozy mysteries. Like it's like a little small binded up anthology. There's 3 different stories. The first is called The 12 Desserts of Christmas by Joanne Fluke. The second is called The Nightmare on Elf Street by Laura Levine. And the third is called The Christmas Thief by Leslie Meyer. I'm excited to read this in December. What do you know? I have another Tana French. This one's called The Likeness. This one has been cracked on the spine, which usually is a big no-go for me. But this one sounded interesting. I think I remember what this is about a little bit. So there's like a detective, and when she's a detective, she uses someone else's name as like her secret identity or something. And then she just decides to resign from whatever detective FBI type position she has. And then the person that she used as like her fake name shows up dead. So she's like, huh? And then she gets involved in the investigation and like starts helping with things again. So it's like the person that she was pretending to be actually ends up dying, which is so interesting. So I'm excited about this one. Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. I recognized this cover, I think. Oh, it's a thriller, a courtroom thriller. Cool. Sarah Waters, The Paying Guest. I was recommended Fingersmith by this author by one of my coworkers when I worked at Barnes & Noble. And I have not picked that up yet. But this one is like long. I mean, I think Fingersmith is kind of long, but I have it in paperback so it looks a little smaller. Why not, right? Then I have The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. This is heavily hyped. I don't know why. It's like a mystery thriller. A lot of these are mystery thrillers, I'm realizing, which is interesting. Why did I get so many mystery thrillers on the second day? I did pick up a paperback of Wolf Hall because we went to this before I got the hardcover. So I need to set this aside to put in a free little library. Harlan Coben, The Boy from the Woods. Harlan Coben is an author I recognize, so I bought it. Ask Again Yes by Mary Beth Keane. Again, another cover I recognized. If you know of any of these books and you've read them and you liked them, let me know in the comments. If you want to give me a brief little review for it, like why you liked it, or maybe even why you didn't like it. I would love to know, because maybe that will push them up on my TBR or move them down so I can prioritize accordingly, because I wish I knew more about some of these. But honestly, it was just the vibes. Vengeance Road by Erin Bowman. This is one that Whitney really loved. She said it's a Western, but the cover was so pretty. I couldn't say no. So I picked it up. I'm not typically into Westerns, but we're gonna give it a shot. Then I have Vassal in the Night. Everyone really loved this when it came out, September 2016. This is a YA fiction piece. I don't know, everyone really loved it when it came out, so I thought I'd give it a shot. It's not as talked about anymore, but like back in the day, this was a BookTube hit. And I never picked it up for some reason. Probably because I wasn't like super into reading. I was just kind of like into BookTube and casually reading. As you can see by how many books I've hauled today, reading is no longer just a casual hobby. It's my entire personality. So I thought, why not try it? Right my wrongs of the past. Julie Murphy's Dear Sweet Pea. Julie Murphy's adorable. This is a middle grade. I don't typically pick up a lot of middle grade, but I've heard some really good things about this one, so I thought I would give it a shot. Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. This was well loved by Hannah back in the day, and I remember seeing it everywhere, but I could never find a copy of it. Now I have found a copy of it. It's a graphic novel, and graphic novels are great to get you out of a reading slump. Then I have another Emma Mills. This one's Foolish Hearts. It's about like people in high school. I think it's a contemporary YA thing, which I know I said I'm not a big fan of, but I've decided to like see what I still am into. I still love and appreciate YA. It's just less of my taste nowadays. I tend to gravitate more towards adult romance fiction, mystery thrillers, things like that, but I still would like to read these on occasion. Then I have another Harlan Coben. This one's called Runaway. Oh! Anyways, that was a jump scare. Why is his face so big on the back? And I've got two Karen Slaughters. This one is called The Last Widow. This one is called The Good Daughter. I've heard amazing things about Karen Slaughter, particularly this one. Whitney's mom really loved it, so I'm excited to try them. I'm running out of space on my windows. Oh, but I only have 4 books left, so that works out. Then we have Jane Harper, The Survivors. This is a Book of the Month edition from January 2021, and it looks like a mystery thriller. And I have a decent bit of trust with Book of the Month mystery thrillers. When a body is discovered on the beach, long-held secrets threaten to emerge. A sunken wreck, a missing girl, and questions that have never washed away. This one will have some good ambiance. Haunted ocean or haunted ship? Hello. We were never here. A backpacking trip has deadly consequences in this chilling new novel from Andrea Bartz, the best-selling author of The Lost Night and the Herd. Backpacking trip. Interesting. I think I read what this was about when we were there, and it sounded really interesting. Last 2, Linda Howard, The Woman Left Behind, and lastly, Lisa Gardner, Never Tell. The cover looked cool. It's like, the cover's almost like it's been like soaked in paper or something. This one's a thriller. according to some blurbs on the back. So wow, that's everything. I'll show you all of the books. These are all the books that I bought. Quite a few. So if you recognize any of these and you've either loved, hated, or felt neutral about any of them, let me know your feelings. And I will adjust my TBR accordingly. Except for the stand-in. I'm really excited about that one. Well, that concludes this book haul. Thanks for tolerating my tomfoolery of not knowing what any of these books are about. I hope it was at least mildly interesting to you to see what catches my eye, what I'm picking up, and hopefully I'll be able to talk to you more about these in future vlogs. But regardless, this is super fun. I'm super excited looking at all of them, except for the fact that I now have to bring them all upstairs to my library. So that sucks. But all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in my next one. Happy reading!